theinfamousmag.com.
What's good, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Big Nex here from the Infamous Magazine. And I got a treat for y'all. I got the dude Sha Stimuli on the line. Sha, what's good with you, bro?
Yo, what it is, man? I'm good.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, shit, man, we've seen a lot of stuff going on with you, man. Well, catch us up to speed, man. What you got coming out right now?
Well, I just dropped this mixtape called The Proposal, Breakup Part 2. It's really something different, you know. I put together a bunch of songs that were really a story about a dude that was thinking about getting married. So, you know, I took a lot of real life instances, things that I've experienced and things that I've seen, a lot of topics I've had over the years about commitment and marriage and kids and dating and all that stuff, and just put it on record. But the way I did it was not soft or sappy. It's just authentic, you know, stuff that a dude can bump and not feel crazy that he's listening to a CD, you know, that's about love and hate and relationships. So that's really the main thing I'm trying to do. A couple of videos. I've shot 1 or 2 videos for the CD. Still pushing it. And outside of that, I'm just selling this merchandise with punchlines on T-shirts and just trying to increase my brand, as well as I'm doing writing as well for websites and magazines and things like that. So all that.
I could dig it. So you keeping your hands on everything and keep them busy.
Yeah, why not?
Shit, I could dig it. Well, look, man, let's jump right into it. You were talking a little bit about the project that you just released. Didn't you just recently drop an album earlier this year, too?
I dropped one, in January I dropped the joint Unsung. I don't know if you want to call it an album. It was all original music. It's on iTunes. It actually sold pretty well, too. So I dropped that, Unsung Volume 1, The Garden of Eden, and that was really pretty much everything that was missing from my Soul to Keep as far as the braggadocious rhyming and spitting that people like to hear from me. Just solidifying my place in the game, because a lot of people either haven't heard of me or heard of me and wonder why I'm unknown. So right. I just wanted to get back to the whole rap essence and get that out of my system, you know.
Well, you say unknown, but, bro, you've been doing your thing for a long time, and a lot of people have been keeping track of what you've been doing. You know, from back when you did The Present and the Future, and even the mixtapes you put out before that.
Yeah.
Back when you dropped that, back in it was 2008, I remember you were dropping a mixtape just about every month, man. What made you do that, man?
It's funny because I'm thinking about doing it again next year. So I've always said it was kind of crazy to do, but you know, around that time I was trying to find my place in the game. You know, I had gotten off the major label. In 2007, I was just like floating, and I was putting out songs, and I was getting, you know, some good responses, but I didn't have people really knowing what I was about, knowing my movement. So I just figured, let me do something that would set me apart. I had a bunch of music, and I record at such a fast pace that I wanted to just challenge myself. And the music still comes out good because I'm used to writing a lot of stuff, pre-recording it in the crib, hearing how it sounds. And when I first started recording music, I used to record whole songs like one take. And, you know, I guess the equipment we were using, it was like you couldn't mess up. If you had to mess up, you had to start all over. So in the studio, I will do probably 6 to 7 songs in 2-3 hours, maybe more, you know, depending on if the engineer is as fast as me. So I was like, give me a theme, and I'll just challenge myself and just go hard and just make it happen. I think the toughest thing was the artwork and really getting the CDs, you know, mass-produced, but the music wasn't that tough. So it was just really to set myself apart. It was my ability to press the stunt button. If people be like, yeah, I'm grinding, so I'm grinding. And I'm like, well, let me show you what grind really is, you know. And it also allowed me to do music that I would have never done. I would have never done a March on Washington CD if it was my one mixtape for the year. I would have never done the relationship stuff, the Love Jones and the breakup and all of that stuff. It was experimental. So, you know, set myself apart.
Well, you know, what kind of inspired the March on Washington one was that was a real dope one, especially because of the timing when you dropped it. You know, right there during the heat of that 2008, you know, election debates going on and whatnot. What was the main purpose behind that when you dropped that one? Because I felt like that one had a lot of pointed material on it.
That tape came from me doing the N-word song for the Boondocks soundtrack, and then I did one or two features that had that political vibe to it. And to be honest, one morning I just woke up, and it was about to be March, and I was like, March on Washington. It just came to me. And I called DJ Victorious, and I was like, yo, you think we can pull it off? And I know he's more social, more political than me, so I said, you're going to have to help me with the topics, but I don't want it to be corny. And I want to be able to say something. So I did a song called Say Something, got Mickey Fax on it. I reached out to a couple of people that I felt like were in that realm. And to me, it was just, I wanted to be a voice for the average human being that wasn't following the election or wasn't following politics, but had their eyebrows raised now that we had a black person running for office. And now they were, like, paying attention to the issues and paying attention to the government. And I felt like I represented that class of people, so I was like, let me talk to them. So I got Torre, I got A-Pinks, I got Skyzoo, I got people that I rock with, and we just wanted to say something.
I could dig it. Now, talking about saying something, I think that, especially with the Breakup Part 2 being out right now, my favorite ones that you dropped during that whole series where you was on that run was the Love Jones one and then the Breakup Love Jones Part 2.
Right.
What was it that drove you to start talking more about the personal side in music?
To be honest, I had a lot of these records. The Love Jones CD, Victorious kind of went through my catalog, and we had about 5 or 6, maybe 7 records about relationships that I was doing for my album on Virgin that didn't make it because some of them were similar and some of them were just experimental. Like I was in the crib and just would have something I was going through, and I was trying to find myself. And whatever I went through, I just started putting it on record and being vulnerable. So he had the idea to put them all together. And me, I wanted to tell a story. He was like, just put them out. And it was kind of risky, I was just thinking, like, how are people going to receive it? Like, doing it in February. But we had an event for it, and a lot of girls came out, and a lot of them started to look at me as somebody that was speaking to them. Not necessarily speaking for them, but speaking to them. So that was, it was just, I think it was just me adding humanism to my music. Before that I was so focused on spitting and being the nicest, and now I was kind of evolving into somebody that had something to say. So I was like, we all go through relationships. So let me talk about it. And that was it.
I could dig it. Now, speaking of spitting, a lot of people may not know, but isn't your older brother Lord Digger?
Yeah, that's my brother. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, shout out to Lord Digger. I know that man, he's been a pioneer, and he's been doing his thing for years. Like I remember when him and Master Ace, when they was first getting down doing their project, and he was working with Fellow Dwellers and whatnot. Now that ended up introducing you to a lot of different things. I mean, what was it like being dropped into the scene back in that time?
Man, it was, I didn't know what I was experiencing when I was experiencing it because it just felt so right, Like, Cellar Dwellers used to come to my high school basketball games, you know what I'm saying? And I was just around so much hip-hop, and I thought music would always be like that, and I wanted to be a part of it. It was just, I was always in the studio with Master Ace, and any type of barbecue functions we had, these guys were at my house, like Craig G, Paula Perry. I would see Cool G rap. I met Kane when I was like 13, and
wow.
Ace had me in the studio doing some stuff on the Slaughterhouse album and on one of his early singles, like Pick Me Up from School. He doesn't even remember picking me up from junior high school. It was just like, man, I met Biggie. I played ball with Guru. I was like 13. I remember crossing him over. It was crazy. Like, I was just a part of hip hop, man, and I just wanted to be, just doing it. Like the original Lyricist Lounge, like it was. Mm-hmm. It was indescribable because it was something that was a part of me. And now I feel like watching that Tribe Called Quest movie, I feel like I'm holding on to the past, and I want to be a part of what I'm missing. But at the same time, I don't know if people want that. I think the adults that grew up on that stuff might want some real music, But when I went to a club a couple of nights ago in New York, and all I heard was, and it's no discredit to anybody in the South, but I heard a lot of Rick Ross, I hear a lot of Jeezy, a lot of Southern music all night, and it was like people were just, the whole atmosphere was money, spending money, popping bottles. It was, hip-hop was kind of removed from that element when it used to be, a part of it. And to be honest, I kind of miss it, I don't think it should be, all hip-hop all night, like all 90s hip-hop, but I just kind of miss that era. And I was very fortunate enough that my brother saw me as not a young dickhead, and he could bring me around, and I spoke when I was spoken to, and it just absorbed. So, yeah.
I can dig it. Well, speaking of growing up in the era, man, you had you were privileged enough to go ahead and be a part of the scene also when, rap really was going heavy at the time. What was it like being in New York City, and in particular in Brooklyn, when there was all those different things going on as far as graffiti goes, when there was all those different writers coming out and, dropping new shit on the walls and really getting up there?
Man, I mean, everything was just different. It was just a feeling that was just so crazy. It was just always, hip-hop was around. It was just around you. It was everything that we breathed and did and felt and talked about. It's hard to put into words because the kids today, I don't think it's the same thing. I don't know if they have the same feeling about the way they're growing up, being synonymous or part of a culture. So for me, it was, now I can appreciate it, but back then I think I was just riding, just living. Like, you just on the ride, and it's just a smooth ride. You just enjoying it. And that was really it.
Shoot, question for you then, man. With hearing the newer cats that are coming out now, man, who is it that you're hearing out there that that you're enjoying listening to, or that you would want to see yourself working with?
Out of the newer cats, I just downloaded Kendrick Lamar's mixtape yesterday, and I was happy that he had some different topics. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people that dudes will recommend to me and tell me they're ill or they're nice. I listen to the stuff and I'll be hyped. I'll be waiting to be, get that shiver or be impressed, and I'm not. And I'm like, is it me? Am I hating, or is it just dudes are okay rhyme wise? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really in it. I get saddened by people like Wiz Khalifa, because I know he had to kind of dumb down his style. Big Sean somewhat annoys me because I feel like I'm happy that he's appreciative of his spot, but I just feel like his persona to me it's a little corny, it's a little lame, and it just feels like lame is in. And I'm just be honest with you. Like, the cornier the person is now, the better, And when I grew up, the rapper was the cool guy in school. You know what I'm saying? And it just, to me, it doesn't seem that way. But who I do like, I'm a fan of Drake's music. Me and J. Cole, we kicked it, played ball. That's my dude. I really hope I hope it all goes well for him. You know who I like? I like Blue. Blue from Cali.
Yeah. Him and that style, that Above the Heavens thing, that was dope.
Yeah, I actually listen to his mixtape, and I have his stuff on my pod, and when it comes on in the car, I never, I don't change it. Other people out here, I'm like, how is this on my iPod still? But Blue has he has a realness about him that's not, it's not tainted. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just giving you what he feels.
Right.
Not every artist is like that. Other artists, they have a motive, and you can kind of hear it. Like, this guy's trying to get checks. This guy understands the game. He's making singles, cool. And I respect all of that. But I think Blue just kind of just spits like what he's going through, and I like that. But y'all got to y'all tell me who's hot. I don't know. I'm not on the blogs every day. Somebody got to hit me and be like, yo, check out this person, and I'll check them out.
Well, you know, I'll run a couple names by you, and if you heard the project or if you heard the artist, tell me what you think. First one I'll run by you, Elzad. Did you get a chance to hear his Elmatic?
Who's that?
Elzad from Detroit.
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's not new, though, right?
No, he's not new. He's new to a lot of listeners, but he's been doing this thing for a while, man. He did a project recently called Elmatic, where it was kind of an ode to Illmatic.
Yeah.
And he took that genre and he kind of flipped it up and made it his own. What about the dude Big Crit?
Yeah, I met Crit in Atlanta as well. He's real humble guy, man. Real humble, hard worker. Yeah, he's saying something. He's definitely saying something. I get visions of myself when it comes to his industry space right now, because he's in that Def Jam engine and he's around a lot of the same people that I was around. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he could run into some real issues if his fans don't stand up for him. You know, I think he's in a much better position because he's able to speak to the people and doesn't need the labels. But it's also very scary because once you get into that major label, man, it can really mess your music up and mess your whole, you know, everything that you work for. So, but I like his music.
Question: Who do you think was the biggest industry victim? The cat that I think that got their music co-opted the hardest.
Who got the what?
Who do you think was the biggest victim of the industry as far as when the majors got their claws into it?
As far as like as far as artists?
Yeah, artists.
I don't know. I don't know. Take your pick.
That's a conversation for a whole other day right there.
Yeah.
But shoot, we're running a little bit low on time, so before we wrap this up, man, is there any final jewels you want to drop on the listeners?
Man, I just want to thank anybody that's supporting any artist. Like, if you hear a dude and you think he's speaking to you, or female she's speaking to you, and you go out on his site or iTunes and pay $5, $9, you tell a friend, you know, you hand the CD out, pass on a link, like, any of that shit keeps this shit alive. Like, you know, dudes, we don't have the radio. We got the computer right now. So, you know, it's very important that we spread the word and talk about people and help these dudes feed their families with their words. So, shout to the fans. You know, forget what I'm doing.
No doubt. Well, Sha, I appreciate you stopping in over here at the Infamous, man. Definitely stay up with us, man. Let us know what you're doing so we can keep spreading that word, bro.
When fame is not enough,